Hey, what's up YouTube? Balder here, and I'm playing some more Flight Simulator 10. I am continuing my tour around the world, this time from Paris-Orly to Marseille, France. Well, anyway, if you're wondering why the cockpit looks different, well, it's because I decided to swap planes. Yes, I do love how just stylish the L10 is, but honestly, this is some sleek crap, and if I were a multi-millionaire, I would much rather fly in a Learjet than some rusted piece of junk airplane. So, yeah, I'm gonna speed things up a little bit, and I'm gonna request takeoff clearance. Alright, let's see what we can do.
Alpha 068 X-ray, ready to go. Runway 6, IFR to profile. Bombardier Juliet Alpha 068 X-ray, clear for takeoff. Runway 6.
Alright, clear for takeoff. I'm just going to turn my
Clear for takeoff.
landing lights on.
Juliet Alpha 068 X-ray.
Flight directors on. And we're ready to go. I also set the pitch earlier, so you don't have to worry about that. This time I can actually use the benefit of the autopilot, because why not? It's almost impossible to fly in a straight level flight with that other plane. I managed to do it for like a good 2 minutes, and then I was just simply unable to. Oh well. Let me just spool up the engines. There we go. Everything's good. We are taking off really quickly. By the way, it is kind of worth mentioning that this plane, this Learjet 45, is the closest plane a civilian aircraft can get outside of fighter jets and stunt jets. Because as of right now, it is climbing like a beast. Wow.
Bombardier 68 X-ray, contact the goal departure on 118.15. 118.15. Bombardier 68 X-ray.
Yeah, I'm gonna... Well, that was kind of weird. I'm just gonna get this thing on autopilot. Get the flaps up.
The goal departure, Bombardier Juliet.
But we have taken off. How about that?
600, climbing 7,000.
So Learjet 45, obviously a business jet. I heard all that stuff. Yeah, not so talkative now, are you? I'm just going to acknowledge the instructions. Yes, in this simulator you can mute everything in the game, which is kind of nice and handy when it comes to the annoying air traffic control guys. So we're just going to acknowledge the handoff, and then we're going to contact the approach. I'm guessing there's a lot of communication that goes on between fast-moving jets and air traffic control, because these things are fast and these things are very heavy, very nasty, and yeah, definitely want to avoid that stuff. More importantly, we're going through a lot of airspaces. Yeah, Learjet 45. Learjet has been around for quite a while. It's made by Canadair or Bombardier. I don't know which one it is, so if anybody can tell me, I'd gladly appreciate it. But yeah, this one is known to have some very, very high performance. As in, you could probably push this thing to the limit. It goes so far as to have an angle of attack meter as well, and we're not even close to hurting that angle. Yeah. More related news on aviation. I heard that the jet that crashed in Malaysia, the recent one, actually had a problem where it climbed it too quickly. and then stalled. So I'm guessing that's pilot error, and, you know, pilot error is actually quite common in aviation. It's the most common cause of accidents. So, that's kind of a scary thought, but it is what it is. You know, it definitely is tragic, but hey, at the very least we know what's going on, and we don't have to worry about any of that political bullshit regarding, oh, it must be China, or some reason you can never trust them. Okay. I can understand the animosity, but I just don't understand it. People need to demonize others, I guess. But enough about politics. I imagine that this isn't going to take very long, because it's just a very short flight. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to cruising altitude. Wow, I'm almost... I can tell you right now that it's not going to be that long before I actually get to the next checkpoint. 25 minutes, wow. I should wonder if real-world weather still works. I'm sure it still does. Alright. Man, these guys are all chatty. I can understand why, but hey. Anyway, we are closely approaching 10,000 feet. And we're getting some turbulence as well. Which is fine by me. Alright, so once we hit the 10,000 mark, it's standard operating procedure that we turn off the landing lights. Don't know if that's a law, but I do know it is a law that we need to have our speed down under 10,000 feet. I just put it to Mach, don't need that. Yeah, 310 is a little bit fast, but it'll work. Plus, we can increase the rate of climb as well. Because, come on, it is a Learjet. We can be a little bit rough with this. I don't think this thing has any strobe lights. I couldn't tell you. But it doesn't matter because, look at the wonderful satellite pasted textures of the world. I bet this is wonderful bitch and wine country too. I mean, just imagining all of those are like grape vineyards. Maybe I'm just romanticizing France way too much, but I heard it's a really nice place, and I've been there when I was 10. It's just that I wasn't really old enough to appreciate it. Oh well, looks like we're going to have to do an altitude increase. Unless this is the maximum cruising altitude, which I'm fine with. I would like to go a little bit higher, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. The last leg of the flight was ridiculous. It wanted me to climb up to 23,000 feet. No, I don't think so. That is just terrible, if you ask me. So, now that we're at cruising altitude, there was a little bit of turbulence, and it's gone now. Seatbelt sign goes off. I don't even know if there's anybody else in the cabin. It's just standard operating procedure. Oh yeah, it's empty. And apparently there's a co-pilot I have. He doesn't exist either. I'm all alone. Oh, well. But hey, this is definitely a sexy looking airplane if I do say so myself. And if I ever become rich, Learjet. That's what I'm going to go with, Learjets. Because why not? I mean, everyone goes for Gulfstreams and all that other crap, but hey, Bombardier knows where it's at. So, anyway, just so I don't bore you, I'm going to jump skip to a little bit later. So, I'll see you then.
Heading 120, Bombardier 68, X-ray, please acknowledge. Turn left, heading 120, expect vectors visual, runway 32, left approach, Bombardier 68, X-ray.
Well, that's pretty random. So, I am heading towards the airport already. I don't even have an altitude decrease for that matter, but I've been at such a low altitude that I'm not really that surprised. I should have actually asked for an altitude increase instead of an altitude decrease. If anything, climbing altitude would have gotten me there faster.
Bombardier 68, X-ray, please expedite your turn to heading 120.
I'm turning to 120, you asshole. Alright. Still, moving on. I am like 55 miles out from where my destination is, but once I do land in Marseille, I should be able to go. And I'm thinking, I'm actually still on the fence about this series. I'm thinking that maybe I should, because if I do all 80 flights, understand that my most popular videos are by far the aviation videos, so if I were to do all the flights, then I would probably get quite a bit of views, which means more subscribers, which means, why not? I mean, seriously. I could always go with some more subscribers. I'm actually getting close to 400. I think by the time it posts, I would reach that 400 mark. And maybe I should do something special for the 400 mark, or maybe something special for the 500 mark. 500 seems a little bit more official. Of course, I would love to reach the 1,000 mark in subscribers. I'm sure that'll be possible someday. Or fairly soon. I mean, my channel has been growing exponentially for the past, well, several months. I think last time I think it really started to kick off with my MiG-21 review, because that thing has like 1 billion hit results, and if you were to actually type up MiG-21 review, I come up as #1, not only in YouTube but Google, so hey, that's always exciting. I didn't know that I would get that type of coverage, or that my video would actually be #1 on the YouTube hits. That's actually the most popular or the most relevant review of the MiG-21. I don't know. That's actually kind of cool. The F-86 review is kind of less popular, way less popular actually, by multitudes less popular. It's certainly, I certainly feel that my F-86 review is a lot better, 1 billion times better than my MiG-21 review, and that's the kind of template I'm going to go with forever, really. And I don't see why not. Just some thoughts pondering. I'm still probably going to do a review of this pretty shortly. I did have a script ready, but then I found out that these guys were upgrading it, but the upgrade has already happened, and you know, I guess I pretty much have to rewrite it, print it out, probably record it tonight, see how that works, and then get all the footage done, post that, and then there we go, another review. It works, it's perfect, and they're taking me a rather long way too, which should be pretty unusual. I mean, generally when you have a coastal city, maybe Marseille is the exception, but generally when you have a coastal city, the airport is perpendicular to the coastline, and that's because the sea breeze will actually allow you a better headwind, and instead of giving you tailwind. So why they're throwing me around, I don't know why, but that's one of my small minor gripes about Flight Simulator 10, is that it doesn't account for sea breeze in their weather stuff. Descend and maintain 4800. Got it.
Turn left, heading 120.
Alright, now we gotta slow down.
800. Bombardier 6, X-ray.
Alright, turn that off.
Turn right, heading 150. Turn right, heading 150. Bombardier 6, X-ray. Bombardier 6, X-ray. Contact Salon approach on 135.15. Going to 135.15. Bombardier 6, X-ray.
I think we're good on that.
Salon approach.
This thing really picked up.
X-ray is at 11,500. Descending 4,800. Bombardier Juliet Alpha 06, X-ray. Salon approach. Roger. Altimeter 2, 992.
Uh-huh. Don't care about that a whole lot. Just checking to see if everything's good. Definitely gaining up in some altitude, or some airspeed, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Speed is a little bit finicky in this game. Or the auto throttle, I should say. So I think as long as I keep it under 250, I'm good. Now I just almost got to 10,000 feet, so gotta turn my landing lights on. I'll become a pilot in no time, and some rich oil tycoonist will carry me under my wing, because why not? Pipe dreams are great that way. Definitely, I can tell you right now, the Learjet 45 is a lot easier to control, so that's something to keep in mind. It's actually a really fun plane to fly. Pretend that I'm chauffeuring around some rich asshole who got his money off of insider trading, because why not? It's kind of weird about the load times of this. Actually, no, that's not a problem with the load times, it's just crappy anisotropic filtering, or not field of view, but something along those lines. I think I'm going to...
Contact Provence approach on 131.225. Going to 131.225. Bombardier 6, X-ray.
I should probably get my flaps in as well.
068 X-ray is at 7,000, descending 4,800. Bombardier Juliet Alpha 068 X-ray. Provence approach. Roger. Altimeter 2, 992.
Still thinking to myself, it's gonna be a little bit while, so I could probably increase it to 4 times speed. And let's see if we can get things going with that. I'm still ways out. be honest. But it shouldn't be too long before we get ourselves on the ground. Alright, normal. Turn right heading 195. There we go, some progress. That might be cheating. But I don't care. Why did I just naturally turn my head left? Let's slow down to about 225. Yeah, that works.
Approach, Bombardier, Juliet, Alpha 068, X-ray, wind yield 4,800. Bombardier, Juliet, Alpha 068, X-ray, to hold, approach, roger, altimeter 2992. Bombardier 68, X-ray, turn right, heading 225. Turn right, heading 225. Bombardier 68, X-ray. Bombardier 68 X-ray, contact Provence, approach on 131.225. 131.225 for Bombardier 68 X-ray.
Alright, so I'm guessing the airport is right over there, in that field of pixels.
Provence, approach, Bombardier, Juliet, Alpha 068 X-ray, wind yield 4,800. Bombardier, Juliet, Alpha 068 X-ray, Provence, approach, roger, altimeter 2992.
Alright, let's get our flaps in. Flaps down, I should say. Let's get our gear going as well. Three green, good.
Bombardier 68 X-ray, descend and maintain 3,400. Descend and maintain 3,400. Bombardier 68 X-ray.
Gotta keep everything going with these things, or I should try. Same as before, no identifiable part to see where I'm going, so it might be a little bit of a problem. We reached our 3,400 mark. Guess I can't even see the airport at this distance.
Turn right heading 255. Turn right heading 255. Bombardier 68 X-ray. Bombardier 68 X-ray. Turn right heading 285.
Alright.
Right,
looks like we're on our base. Now all we need to do is to see the runway and, of course, get the clearance to land. This one I'm definitely going to be a little bit more professional on, if you haven't noticed. Last one I was a little bit annoyed by just how demanding the IFR was in the last flight. This one is not too bad, not bad at all. Plane, on the other hand, I can write that as office garbage. 4 out of 10. No, actually, 3 out of 10. see no runway whatsoever. I'm starting to see a town, which is actually turning out to be quite nice. I don't understand why it's taking so long to load everything. I guess I should check the settings and see if anything there can solve it. Oh, I accidentally mixed DCS controls with flight sim controls. That would have been disastrous.
Lockheed 16 X-ray. Airport is at your 1 o'clock. 12 miles. Turn right heading 315. Report runway in sight. Turn right heading 315. Bombardier 16 X-ray.
Yeah, I see it.
Bombardier 16 X-ray has the runway in sight.
Autopilot off.
16 X-ray, short 10 miles southeast. Descend and maintain 2,100. Cleared visual. Runway 32 left approach. Contact the Hall Tower on 123.725. Descend and maintain 2,000.
Well, moment of truth.
Cleared visual. Drop-off tower. Bombardier Juliet Alpha Sierra 16 X-ray is 9 miles southeast. Inbound visual, runway 32, left approach. Bombardier Juliet Alpha 068 X-ray, 12 off, tower, make straight in, runway 32, left, altimeter 2992. Make straight in, runway 32, left, Bombardier 68 X-ray.
Alright, let's see if we can align ourselves with the runway. Since there's a hill over there, it's not particularly good that I'm a little bit low. Let's see if we can change that.
Bombardier 68 X-ray, cleared to land. Runway 32, left.
Alright.
Cleared to land. Runway 32, left. Bombardier 68 X-ray.
That's good.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
I heard you the first time.
Don't sink.
4 times doesn't
Don't
help.
sink.
5 times. Holy crap.
Don't sink.
Ah, there we go.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
I have no problem with sinking now. Alright. My arms are pretty tense right now. I seem to be right on... I was right on the money. Wow. That's a pretty rapid descent, too. Flare up. Alright, well, got ourselves off the ground. Or, we got ourselves on the ground, I should say. Well, that should be it for part 2. I don't know if there's going to be a part 3. I actually wouldn't mind there being another part 3, but, you know, it's up to YouTube to decide. So, as I said before, give any comments out. I'm probably going to continue this, but, you know, We'll figure that out when the time comes. But with that said, like and favorite this video and subscribe. There are plenty more videos where that came from, so you have a nice day.